Hello children, today we are going to learn our 15th chapter of social studies, that is the making of independent India's constitution. So the making of independent India's constitution. So making everything, all of us know that to prepare. So what is this constitution? So constitution. Okay. So generally a constitution has different dual objectives, generally many objectives, but basically for our knowledge what we call as a constitution means constitution is a book of rules and regulations or principles how a country need to be governed now and in future. Okay, so this is the basic idea or the basic function or the work of the Indian constitution. So not only Indian constitution, any country's constitution. So now this is one of the objective. What is the second objective? Second objective is like the fundamentals of citizens, or maybe the way how duties of citizens towards the nation. Okay, in simple, how a citizen need to be in a country, that also will be prescribed by the constitution. So they are the basic ideas or the thoughts of having a constitution. So here to have a better understanding about these what you can say basic level of the Indian constitution, you can read 13th lesson, chapter 13 of social class 8th. Okay, that you can refer the textbook so that you can get the basic idea. So here we have given at the beginning of your textbook, that is in the page number 216 and 217. In 216 they have discussed about the preamble of the Nepal constitution, and in 217 they have discussed about the preamble of the Japan. Okay, so Japan preamble has formed in the year of 1946, whereas Nepal constitution has been framed in the year of 2007. So here let me tell you, Japan has been framed its own constitution and it is working on its constitution, it is going on, it is following the constitution. Whereas Nepal in the year of 2007, they have been framed the preamble and they have been started writing the constitution, but till in the year of 2015 also it was not completed. Okay, almost even still it is going on. Why it has been not completed, what is the reason, that we will see in our upcoming topics. So now if we see, so generally the same way even we have Indian constitution also, even all of your textbooks, almost in all the textbooks of your of our book generally will be having a preamble. Whether state board, I think it doesn't have, I think so properly, but in CBSE board we have almost all the textbooks will be having the Indian preamble, or the first page of the lesson textbook will be of Indian preamble. The first page of the Indian constitution will be given in first page of your textbook. Just I'll show you the page of that textbook also. That is, see here it has given preamble of the constitution. So this is a first page. What is meant by a preamble? Preamble is nothing but the first page of a Indian constitution. We call it as a preamble. Okay, what is written in the preamble? See, generally if we see Indian constitution preamble has been written, we the people of India having solemnly received to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure all its citizens to have justice as well as social, economic equality, liberty, fraternity. Like this, we have all these features which have been embedded in a preamble of our Indian constitution. Likewise, even every constitution has one or the other thing or something in the constitution. See, the Nepal constitution has like this, it goes, we, the sovereignty and state authority, integrate people of Nepal, respecting the people, mandate expressed in favor of democracy, peace, and so, something like that. The same way, even the Japanese people also had their own preamble. The people can have a glance in your textbook, that is page number 216 and 270. Now, if we check, what are the basic ideas, background of the Nepal? See, all of us know that Nepal was a country which has been ruled by the king, monarchical kings. Okay, in the year of 1959, the first elections were held in Nepal under the new constitution issued by King Mahendra. Okay, so now here, background of Nepal constitution. Even the elections in the country also will be held according to the rules or the regulations or the principles or the policies laid in the constitution. So now if you see, in the year of 1959, for the first time there were elections which are held in Nepal under the new constitution which has been set up by King Mahendra. Okay, he is a person who was a ruler at that particular time period. So he prescribed, or he issued a constitution. So under that constitution they have been conducted the elections. But however, within a year again this newly formed government has been given its powers to the king again. Again the king came back to the power and king started ruling the country. So that means the power of this constitution or whatever the new government has been formed, that has been only for few days, that is only temporarily, that was only for 1 year it has been happened. The next what we have is, so likewise from then onwards they have been started again, once again they have been held elections in the year of 1991. Okay, still again the same thing has been happened, then they started struggling a lot. Finally in the year of 2007, okay, the Nepal people were able to fight successfully or to implement or to adopt a democratic system, or they emerged themselves as a republic country after a long struggle. There was a long struggle in Nepal, like even we'll be learning in some of the topics in some of the book. I haven't read that popular struggle in Nepal. There was a struggle in Nepal where all the people have been came together and they fought for the sake of the against this monarchical rule, and they restored democracy and they established democracy in their country. And from the year of 2007 they started writing their constitution, but their constitution is still not yet completed. Even in the year of 2015 it was incomplete because many of the political parties and all the political parties are not coming on two common aspects, or they are not agreeing on all the factors. Some of the parties are accepting for some of the things, other parties are opposing that things like this. That means all are not coming on one thread, or they are not having a similar point of opinions in framing a constitution. So because of their different type of ideologies as well as ideas, they were unable to frame the constitution till today. The finalization of constitution has been not yet done in Nepal. Still it is going on or working on the framing of a constitution. Okay, so now let us see what has been happened to India's constitution, the making of India's constitution. Making of India's constitution. So all of us know that before making the Indian constitution, we have been framed the Constituent Assembly. The first thing what we have is Constituent Assembly. Okay, and this Constituent Assembly has been made, okay, in the year of almost in the year of 1946. So actually what was the reason how we have been made? It means all of us know that almost for more than 200 years we have been fought with the Britishers. Okay, we have been fought with Britishers for freedom. Okay, all of us know that even in our previous class we have been learned India would get Second World War has completed in the year of 1945. At that time when we thought that definitely India will be getting independence, at that time the Indian leaders have been felt that we need to have our own constitution, because till then we have been followed the Britishers constitution. Okay, Britishers constitution we used to follow. Then we thought of having our own constitution. So then in the year of 1946 we have been formed a Constituent Assembly. So after a long struggle for the sake of independence and other things, we have been framed with the Constituent Assembly in the year of 1947. Following after how we have been followed this Constituent Assembly means we had a provisional elections for the provisional assemblies. Elections for provincial assemblies have been held. Okay, then after these elections for these provincial assemblies, then we have been framed these what we can say members for the Constituent Assembly. They were elected indirectly by the members of these provincial assemblies. Generally here we will be following in our country, to elect someone or to elect some person to a position, we will be following universal adult franchise. Universal adult franchise. But here in electing the members to these Constituent Assembly, we have been not followed any universal adult franchise, because at that particular time period even we have been not had that much of time or other things, or doesn't know what is the reason, but the particular reason, but they have been they elected the members indirectly. That means the members of these who were elected for these provincial assemblies, these people have been elected the members of the Constituent Assembly. And even the cabinet mission which is appointed in the year of 1946 allotted seats to this provincial assemblies also, and even seats to each princely states also they have been allotted, and then they have been framed. At that particular time period, the people from near about from the British India have been participated, elected near about 292 members, whereas at that particular time period from the princely state they were 93 members. So like this, okay, princely state means like the people who belongs to the royal families, like kings or something, they were, and British India means other independent states. From that they have been participated and have been elected. And not only that, even here we had different types of members at that particular time period. Only one party was the single largest party, that is INC, Indian National Congress. Indian National Congress. It was the only one largest party at that particular time period. And along with this, even we have Muslim League also, one of the party which had that. And then okay, so they are the different types of political parties. That is, one is a Muslim party, Muslim League, another one is Congress party. And at that particular time period, Congress party has been got near about 69% of the seats, whereas Muslim League has got near about all around overall another 20% of the seats by the Muslim League. Okay, as it was still 1947 of 14th August 1947, people from across the country has been participated in this Muslim League party. But after the 14th of August 1947, when the segregation of the state, the separation of the state has been happened at that particular time period, the people from the Constituent Assembly only for Pakistan have been framed separately, and then they have been participated in the other further activities. So like this, so as if you can see, the Constituent Assembly was not elected through the universal order franchise. Already we have been discussed about only 10% of the population could vote in that, because the elected members of these provincial assemblies, along with that even some other like taxpayers and even some other also given opportunity, only they have been cast a vote for these members in the Constituent Assembly, and further it has been went. At that time even they have been given importance to all the categories like Hindus, Muslims, like SCs, STs. They have been given priority to all the categories of people, and all the sectors of people have been participated in this. That means the one who are in this Constituent Assembly, okay, here people of all the communities like Hindus, Muslims, SCs, STs, okay, minorities, and along with that even women. So like that, all has been given importance and all has been participated in this. And of course, when compared to overall, the number of women participating in this were less. There were only very less members in that. What you can say, Constituent Assembly we can say. As of and finally they have been given, and they made a final statement on 13th December 1946. That is 13th December 1946. A statement made by Mr. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, okay, on behalf of this Constituent Assembly, and they have been framed that. And at the same time, they have been made a drafting committee also. And for the Constituent Assembly, President of the Constituent Assembly was Mr. Dr. Rajendra Prasad, okay, and the President for the Chairman for the drafting committee was, they have been drafted a committee also, drafting committee also they have been made. After the Constituent Assembly has been formed, even they have been formed a drafting committee also, and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Okay, so Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was the chairman of this drafting committee, and they have been made, and they took near about, everyone knows that 2 years, 11 months and 18 days it took for framing of or writing of the Indian Constitution. After framing, finally the Indian Constitution has been adopted on 26th November 1949, and it came into act on 26th January 1950. Okay, so it came into act, and it started, we started using the Indian Constitution. From that time onward, we celebrate 26th January as Republic Day, because from that time onwards India has become Republic. That means we started using our own Constitution. So almost it took 2 years, 11 months, 18 days for framing of Indian Constitution. And after framing Indian Constitution, we have been adopted Indian Constitution on 26th November 1949, and finally it started implemented from the year of 1950, that is from 26 January 1950. So from that time onwards, we call India as a republic country. And before, what you can say, after the framing of the Constituent Assembly, when they started working, so how do you people know that Indian Constitution is the lengthiest written constitution? Okay, Indian Constitution, okay, lengthiest written constitution. Okay, lengthiest written constitution. It has both the features, that is rigid and flexible. It has both the features, rigid and flexible, and even it is a lengthiest constitution. We have been lengthiest written constitution, and it has all the features of rigid and flexibility. And before framing the Indian constitution, our Indian constitution framers or the constitution designers or the constitution writers, they have been referred many of the constitutions in the world, like what you can say the constitution of different countries, like maybe of USA or maybe of Britain or maybe of Japan or maybe something like that. They have been went on different types of constitutions. They read different types of constitution. They refer different types of constitutions and came out with a constitution which has been became a role model to many of the countries, and the lengthiest written constitution also in the world. And it has both the features, rigid as well as flexible. Rigid means harsh. Okay. So at the times it is required, it is very harsh with its rule, with its principles, with its rules and regulations, and along with that even it is flexible also. So as I said, Indian constitution is the lengthiest constitution in the world. Then here reading Constituent Assembly debates. That means before implementing a constitution or before adopting the constitution or before approving the constitution, there was a debate. A debate means discussions. Different types of discussions have been happened on the Indian constitution when it has been framed or it has been formed. Like what is good and what is not good, whether this need to be done or this not to be done. Like this, different types of discussions are also have been happened on our constitution, and even the debates which have been happened on the Indian constitution, that is also recorded, and even the records are also still available with our Indian with us, like it has been preserved by the Indian government, and even we can find that debates also. Like that, everything has been recorded. Every minute activity in framing of the Indian constitution, or every minute activity which has been led towards the framing of the constitution or implementing the Indian constitution, everything is recorded, and it's a black and white. Everything black and white means not the black and white paper or something. It has a recorded proof of everything, either in the form of recorded, in the form of video, audio, or the written form of the books, papers, or the ledgers, or the reports. In this way, we have evidences or the proofs of Indian constitution, how it has been written, how it has been implemented, how it has been discussed, what are the terms, what are the different types of situations undergone to frame these, what are the different measures taken, where are the different places referred, what are the main ideology for the framing of Indian constitution. All these things have been recorded, and it has been preserved also. So now in our next topic, we will be learning about reading Constituent Assembly debates.